Something out from New York City. It's Kevin the Dinosaur.
Wow, the dwarves, that was amazing. It looked like you guys were having a blast out there.
Jello Lugosi, you got something out there?
Yes, I'm still here. So we got someone here tonight that traveled down here to be with us the last weekend and this weekend. Oh, I actually got him back here with me. We don't have a camera view, so why don't you go up there with up front? I'm sending him up there to you. We got Kevin the Dinosaur.
Kevin the Dinosaur, come on up.
He's on his way up there. We lost our camera view back here, so you can only hear us. You can see Nihilus out there, though.
Ladies and gentlemen,
hey,
put your attention over here. This is Kevin Dinosaur. He flew all the way from New York City to be here tonight. Kevin.
Hey, this is for the asshole outside.
Oh, shit. Who gave Mino the mic?
Hold on. Hey, asshole, can you hear me, you son of a bitch?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? Get the fuck out of my fucking front of my door, you piece of shit. I'm gonna come out and kick your ass right now.
Mino!
Uh-oh.
All right, now here comes Mino. I would run if I were you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my landlord I owe over $20,000 to. He ain't taking any shit from anyone.
Oh, he definitely
I'm telling you right now, you just better leave. You don't want what he has to offer. All right. We almost have Haunted Garage at the stage.
So we got Kevin.
I'm here with Kevin.
With him.
I'm here with Kevin the Dinosaur, who is filming a documentary on the band Haunted Garage. Here you go, Kevin the Dinosaur. Give him a hand. 3,000 miles.
Yes.
Talk to the camera,
Right.
Kevin.
Well, this is my new music video. I have a stupid puppet head in it for the only reason it's because I wanted to play it here and premiere it here for you guys.
Because puppet heads is what we do.
We're gonna see it at.
We're gonna see it right now on these TVs.
All right.
We're gonna see it right now.
I'm glad that you had a speech prepared, Kevin.
Well, we have Brian Viglione from the Dresden Dolls playing drums
know-
in this. And how the fuck am I gonna follow the dwarves? But I'm gonna try.
Well, let me tell you, the best way to rehearse when you go live is to get real drunk. Fucking idiot. All right, Kevin.
Let's see this video. You ready
I
for
can't
the
go
video?
see
All
my.
right. And then after the video, we have 60 free beers and Haunted Garage.
Stay tuned for my documentary about Dukey Fly Swatter and Haunted Garage coming sometime in the future.
All right, let's get that video started. We're going to check out this video coming at you. Kevin the Dinosaur bringing Crystal Day.
Aim for something between tonight and forever. The time is really now or never. Be dramatic on whatever your endeavor. And bang your head against the walls. Make it work, whatever the cost. Grab this time like it's slipping away. Spend each day like a Christmas day. Every day is a good to me. Oh, look, there's something pretty out there. Cool. Where? Oh, what? Just another mirage. Oh. skills that I could bury.
Oh yeah, nothing like dead air.
Yeah, there you go. That
There
was
we
the
go.
Kevin the Dinosaur. That was the video. Crystal Day. We'll link it up on the Facebook, so go check it out.
Hello, everybody in the internet land. I know, look, I changed my outfit. My campaign for the documentary, The Life and Slimes of Dukey Flyswatter and Haunted Garage, is over. So, now I can wear whatever I want. Oh shit, can you hear me? Let's try that again with the microphone. Hello and welcome to VonPod. And as I was saying, look at this. I've changed my outfit. It's bloody too. You see how bloody this shirt is? This is a vintage. I can't believe how old this shirt is, because it seems just like yesterday. But it was a pig face shirt. What does it say on the bottom here? A limited edition screen print by Martin Atkins, the man himself. This must have been from like 2002 or 2003. And so that's like 20 years ago. I can't believe it. The Easy Listening for Difficult Fuckheads tour in BB King's in New York. Although it was white until this weekend. You see, I'm running out of white shirts because I just keep on seeing one of my favorite bands, Gwar, over and over again. I've seen them 3 times in the past year, and this weekend was no different. And I will talk about that in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm just going to come out and say it. I know what you're all here for. You're not really here for me, but I hope you will be here for me. You're here for the Deli Creeps. You're probably a fan, and I'm just going to come right out and say it. We had a cancellation about 20 minutes ago. Maximum Bob will not be here tonight, but he will be here soon in the future. He had a family emergency. So we wish him and his family well, but there will be no Maximum Bob tonight. But he assures me that there's some big news in the works, and he will talk about it on my show in the future, hopefully within the next month. So I'm flying solo tonight, more or less. I may have some surprise pop-ins. I welcome anybody out there who wants to join and have a very open conversation. I don't need these headphones. I'm not listening to anybody tonight. I'm taking them off. I'm going to put the link. Can you guys see the link in the comments? If you click that, you can enter my digital studio and be part of the show. I'm just going to talk about, I don't know, some recent acquisitions and things that are happening in my life and things that you can expect from me in the future. How does that sound? Great, because that's all I can do for you tonight on Last Minute. It was literally like a half an hour ago, and this show's been running for 10 minutes already. We wish Maximum Bob well. I had such a great show prepared for you. Trust me, I have tons of clips and Deli Creeps history and personal anecdotes and personal props. I've been collecting Deli Creeps and Buckethead stuff since Deli Creeps was an actual active project in the 90s. If you guys are joining me, I'm seeing people joining. I'm so sorry, Maximum Bob will not be here tonight. He will be here in the future. He had a family emergency. But what you did just see was a music video from my upcoming album. Let's talk about me for a little while. That's from my upcoming album, Welcome to My Pity Party. Although the mix is a little bit old, it sounds actually a lot better now. But that's kind of like what I'm going to be shifting focus to in the near future. I'm going to, during the pandemic, I started just recording a bunch of random music, and it turned out to be enough for about 3 short albums, and the first one is about 95 to 99% done already. And so yeah, I think, now that the campaign for the documentary is over, not that I'm going to be working on it, and I will be talking about it, especially in the next month, just because I have some shock rockers coming on and stuff like that. But next, I think, is going to be some people from my album are going to come on. Hopefully, I'll get some really cool people. And I have someone waiting in the waiting room. It's one of them. Let's bring him to the show. It's Evil Kitty Keith.
Sup?
What's up? I know.
I don't think I'm going to be a good substitution for Buckethead or Maximum Bob. But...
Well, there was going to be no Buckethead, although that would have been maybe. Who knows? Maybe sometime. He did do one podcast.
Well, of yours?
No, not
Oh
of
no,
mine.
the psychiatrist.
Yeah, his psychiatrist.
Yeah. I saw that.
How are you? Where are you? What's happening over there?
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
You want to tell the people who you are?
I am your brother.
Yes. And you were one of the guitar players on that song we just heard.
I am, with the shitty camera. Sorry. Just cursing on this.
I know you can do better, and you will. You have provided better video, but not for that song.
Not for that song.
Although, it's not too late if you wanted to redo that.
Well, you gonna redo the video?
I'm not gonna redo the video, but I'm gonna make it part of a whole. It's gonna be a video album, and that's gonna be part of it. So the video album's not done yet. I can George Lucas that shit a little bit if I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you want me to, just let me know.
That's up to you.
We'll see. I take what I can get. Yeah, other projects we're working on together that we'll talk about later.
Oh, so should we not talk about it now?
If you want to tease it a little, I guess. There's nothing ready yet.
What are we teasing?
Oh, we're working on a project with an old high school buddy of mine. With my brother.
I was not in high school with you.
No, you were not. You were probably, God knows how old you were. 10? No, probably even less.
Oh yeah, less. Because I was 11 when we played our first show.
Yeah, so it was before that.
It was way before that.
Yeah, we're doing I guess it would be more of a heavier rock metal project. It's called Dedicate, and what it is, it's going to be us doing songs dedicated to other genres or movies or bands, or a couple things in the works now, but nothing's ready for publication yet.
One of those songs gets stuck in my head.
Well, yeah, I don't know. You have to hear the new mix. I put up in the. You could hear it, but Greg and I are working on a really good mix, but it's not done yet. And I wanted to talk. We'll talk offline about some of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. No, I forget. I'm sorry. I forget the names of the songs, but probably the first one that we finished was really the most
Zombies.
Finished. I don't remember. I know them mostly as instrumentals. I only heard it once or twice with vocals. So.
Yeah, I just gave it away. The first one is a zombie song that we're working on. We have a song. No, a zombie song.
A Zombie by the Cranberries song?
No. Although we did a really bad version of that back in the day.
Back in the actual 90s.
Yeah.
They played that on the Green Jelly show a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
I mean, it never really fails.
That's a good track. So she offed herself.
Arguably, that's one way to put it. It was self-inflicted, although I don't know the intent. We all don't know the intent.
So what's the update on the video album? When are we going to get that out?
Let me talk a little bit more. Yeah, it's been in the works way too fucking long. I thought it was going to be out a year and a half ago, but it's not, things get done when they get done when you have no budget and no pressure. And it's almost done. I have one segment that somebody needs to record. And then I just basically need to get it mastered. And I'm ready to do that now, basically. So, without revealing too much about my personal life, but I will have a lot of free time after the next week.
Yeah.
For the next couple of months. So I have a window of time to work on things like that. And the documentary. I am also working on the documentary in the background. I've been doing interviews via this digital studio, actually, with people I couldn't, make it to because they're in different states and stuff like that. So that's all in the works. It's all happening at the same time. And then hopefully with some music coming out, the other 2 albums will be closely behind because most of that stuff is done already too, for the most part. So, and what's really going to hold this back, like the music portion of this album is definitely going to come out first because videos take a long time to make, even if they're low budget and, low concept, but it's still time and work and energy. And, I don't know why I promised the world a video album. Nobody was asking for it.
Well, you
But
figure your biggest idol is your former bandmates Green Jello, and
yes,
they were the world's first video album.
heavily inspired by Serial Killer, the world's first video album. Not Beyonce, though. Respect to Beyonce. Yeah, definitely. And I've just figured in this kind of the way the world works these days, it's better to have a video than not.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna put something out, even people just put out these stupid lyric videos. It's just something to put on in the background on YouTube. That's all I really need for this. Although it is conceptual, it's just taking a while to do. And I kept switching the track list between the 3 albums slightly. So different videos that I had filmed or had even finished are now not even going to be on this album. So I already did like future work, So
now let me put you on the spot. Your first VonPod, you had Abby Death as your guests.
yes.
And I thought I heard an anniversary
Right.
Putty Root album. So is that going to happen? Since I know that's been in the works now for about 5 years too.
Probably closer to 10. I can't make any official statement about it because we haven't made any official plans, but I would like to have something out. If not a new song, I actually have some new Putty Root songs that Val, I played her one, last time I was over there, and she was like, this is like the best song ever. Like, I wanted this song. I'm like, well, you're kind of going to be part of it anyway, so it's kind of your song.
And I don't want to.
I don't even think you've heard it. Like, I have some. I wrote. I don't even. Well, one of them was almost a ripoff of one of your songs, but I caught it early and I changed it enough to not be.
We can do a rip. You can do a cover of one of my songs.
No, but it wasn't intended to be. Like, I have these ideas. They just come into my head. That's the difference between that kind of material and the material on my upcoming 3 albums. Those were written kind of experimentally with no project in mind. During the pandemic, it was just like, let me just sit down with no idea, no genre, no project, and just see what happens. And that's what happened. And then later on, I collected it together as a package. But these songs, like how I traditionally make music, is I have an idea just come to me, and I run to my room or whatever and grab a guitar and try to play it out. And then usually it sits around for sometimes years before I actually get to record it. But this, I think that night or the next day, I just like made a whole demo like overnight basically. And it was so metal and it was so poppy, and it was just like, this stuff is just gonna be so catchy. You're not gonna get out of your head. And so I figured that would be perfect for Putty Root. And since we're like, the biggest problem with the Putty Root album that we started, which is all old material from like 10, 20, maybe sometimes over 20 years ago now. Um, that's kind of stuck on somebody else's computer right now.
Got
So
it.
it's not for lack of wanting to work on it, but just, because of COVID and I
Right, getting the
moved and stuff.
tracks.
Yeah, it's just like, no, and the problem is I can get the files, but then I don't have all the plugins that we use to mix it. So it's just like, it's a one problem after another.
Right.
If you're just tuning in, this is not Maximum Bob talking to me right now. Let me put
I'm probably about the same age as Maximum Bob.
I don't know. Yeah, not quite, but no, that's not it. This is my brother Keith I'm talking to. Maximum Bob unfortunately could not be here tonight. He just let me know about 20 minutes before the show started, but he assures me we will reschedule, and he's got big news that he's saying he will premiere on my show. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited for it. And, it's just a family emergency. So gotta let that happen. That's been happening all day for people I know.
That's the world today.
Yes. Did I answer your question?
I think
Sort of.
so. Yeah.
I would love
not
to get
tease,
something out by
but
January, because why not? Like, I'm sitting on mountains of material. You have no idea how many like songs are done or almost done from all kinds of different projects. I probably have about 5-6 full albums of almost 99% complete material. Vonesper, Putty Root, Decay, my 3 albums. It's
yeah,
insane.
and I can tease. I know just behind the scenes of the Putty Root, since I was involved in a little of it. There is a cover song on there that I'm dying to hear what that's going to come out sounding like.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one you thought was an original?
That was.
Yeah.
So if you want to give everyone the background, you had sent me a bunch of tracks to say, hey, this is a bunch of the stuff we're thinking of working on. Anything you want to play on?
Yeah,
So
that's
I
how we
had
usually
sent
work. I
you,
send you like 30 songs, and I'm just like, do
here's
whatever you
5.
want. Yeah.
Here's 5 I'll do. Yeah, so there's one track that kind of stuck out to me. I loved it. So I made it my own and added a whole bunch of tracks. And then you called me and said, you know this is a cover song, right? I was like, I did not know that was a cover song.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a funny story behind that too. When we first did that cover song, we recorded it on an 8-track in my dorm room at college about 20 years ago, and we actually gave a copy of it to the band later that year. We saw them at what used to be called the World in Times Square. Now I don't even know if it's still there, but it's been the Best Buy Theater and then the PlayStation Theater, and I don't know what it's called now. But it was the band Tsunami Bomb, and they were opening for The Damned, which we had to leave early to catch a bus back to Long Island where we were going to college. But yeah, they said that we weren't the first band to cover them. I think we might have been the second, but we were the first to record a cover of them. So that's
Didn't you
cool.
have a cover of them on like some kind of charity album or a compilation album or something years ago?
You might be thinking of the X-Ray Specs.
Oh, maybe I am.
And that's if you're looking for music documentaries to watch, there's a documentary out now about the singer of X-Ray Specs, Polystyrene. That's some like 70s punk rock from England. I actually got to see I don't know if it was a premiere, but it was a screening before public, digital release and everything, because my friend was playing after the screening, and I was filming them, and they did like an X-Ray Specs cover and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's a punk rock icon from the 70s.
Fun stuff.
Yes. And here's something else I'm sure we could riff on a little bit. Hold on, let me get my slideshow up here. I will be returning with a second show, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, what was previously called the Phantom Phenomenon, which I did one pilot episode for. See, here's the thing about this streaming format is like, it's like live editing. Like after this, I don't have to do any post-production. It's already there. I'm doing all the editing on the fly, and I don't even ever have to watch it again. But all these other productions in the past, before this technology was here, before I discovered this technology, I would just painstakingly editing things like and it just took way too long, and nobody was paying me for it. So all these great ideas that I had fell to the wayside. And now with this format, I can do much more. So now it is called Found a Phantom, and I just replaced my old logo with the new one. Yeah, you like that?
It is funny.
And it is, I already have the Instagram. I changed the name of it a while ago, intending to do this, and I have a great guest lined up. There's a reason I'm pushing for this this month to bring this back, because I had an opportunity to talk to this person, Becky Laugh, or I think she goes by Beckaroo, is doing a Phantom of the Opera comic book, very book accurate Phantom of the Opera comic book, and just launched a Kickstarter. And I've been actually following this project for probably a couple years now, and it's finally being collected. Half of it, the first half, finally being collected in print, and I'm excited to talk about that. And also, as a fan, introducing myself as a book. What would I call it? Let's
To have
the essential, right?
that's the one. Yeah, I think it's the one you gave. This is your favorite version of it.
Yeah, because it's annotated. Although there is a couple spelling mistakes, I think, in it. There's some grammar and spelling errors, I think, but it's the most informative. There's probably just as many footnotes as there is actual text from the book.
Right.
Although it's missing the extra chapter.
Yeah, Phantom is great. I mean, I've heard you talk about it on some of your casts. I mean, it's a great story that's never really been done right. I mean, even the classic monster horrors really doesn't match the book. The Andrew Lloyd Webber catches one sub part of the book without really getting into all of it. No one's really done although my favorite version, I think you actually agree with me, even though it's still not spot on from the book. But one of the better versions is the Robert Englund version.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I have a reason to, but I'm going to bring a third person into this conversation, and we're going to ask him what his favorite Phantom of the Opera is. Although I know the answer, it's Jeff Frumess from the Frumess channel.
Hey now, how you doing?
So we're talking Phantom, or we're talking Misfits? Now I'm confused.
I don't know. Hi, I'm Jeff, by the way. What's your name?
Hi,
man?
Jeff. I'm Kevin's brother, Keith.
Whoa! Wait, this is your brother?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's
Wait,
awesome.
where do I gotta get the names
Keith?
up
Nice
there.
How you doing?
Cool.
This is my older brother, has also come to save the show. If you're just joining, neither of these people are Maximum Bob.
And he has a Scream 2 poster, so I know not only is he your brother, but he has a Scream 2 poster, so he's got to be cool.
Well, Keith used to work at a movie theater, and we
did.
get some cool stuff like that.
I also have my vintage. If you look in the back, I have my vintage. You can see it.
Pulp Fiction?
I have my Pulp Fiction. I have an autographed Clerks poster.
Oh yeah, I have a Mallrats
jealous.
one, and that's I think just because we went to the secret stash and Jay was just working the counter.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, this was back in the 90s.
I was about to say this had to be between 1997 and the year 2000, somewhere.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Post Chasing Amy, but I think that was the newest movie.
That's when it was. I don't know if it's still there. The secret stash was in Red Bank, and I remember
He used to live above that secret stash, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
I remember,
that makes sense.
I remember Red Bank. I figured.
I think.
Because we were in New York, so I figured, it's New Jersey. It can't be too far. And I think it ended up being like a 3 or 4 hour drive to get down to Red Bank.
I don't remember the long drive.
You're going down to the shore.
Yeah, it was a ways.
Going down to the shore.
And Jay was
it was
there.
worth it that Jay was just working. What's that?
What was your question before about what movie?
Yeah. So I already know your answer, but I'm going to ask you
Oh,
anyways.
Phantom.
What's your
Phantom.
favorite version of Phantom of the Opera?
I don't
Phantom
know if
of
you
the
can
Paradise.
see that. Can you see that in the corner? Is it too dark?
I mean, I can see it because I know what I'm looking for.
Is that better? Can you see it?
Yes.
I mean, there's your answer. That's your answer right there. Obviously, Phantom.
Do you know that one, Keith?
Is that the Kiss one?
No. That's Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, and it has nothing to do with Phantom of the Opera.
Now, here's a little bit of interesting. I don't want to. I think that Kevin is the de facto Phantom expert who could run circles around me. So I don't want to speak out of turn here. However, and maybe you know this already, Kevin. Interesting. Of course, you know this. Interesting observation that I had when I was going through and watching all of the original Universal monster movies, the classics.
It's something I need to do.
You know, there's a great box set. It's like $34. It fluctuates between
I'm
like
gonna get it
$20
by the
to
end of the year.
$34. Dude, they do their 4K remasters on Blu-ray. They
Yeah.
look gorgeous in black and white.
Do that.
Highly, I'll send you a picture of what it looks like. But
Okay.
the Phantom, this is the second Phantom. The first Phantom,
Yeah, the
obviously,
Claude Rains
1925.
one.
The Claude Rains Phantom.
Yeah.
Now, the Claude Rains Phantom is where they took the plot for Phantom of the Paradise. I couldn't believe how much of the plot was similar to where Brian De Palma borrowed from that version of the Phantom of the Paradise. The stealing of the music.
Phantom of the Opera, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That was not in the original Phantom.
No.
Right? Yeah. So that was what like the whole hook of the Claude Rains Phantom was remade in Phantom of the Paradise, which
and
awesome.
And another Phantom of the Opera after that. Like, that's such a weird thing. So many Phantoms just stole that version of it, and it's like they didn't even read the book or look at Lon Chaney or anything. And it's weird because that's like it's not a very good one plot wise, let's say that much. Like
Which
his
one?
little
Claude Rains?
Yeah, I mean, I
liked it a lot.
But,
I mean, it's not a sacred cow for me the way it is for you. It's a sacred cow for you. I understand. But for me, I enjoyed it.
I enjoy them all, but for different reasons. You know, it's a beautiful one. It's got great music, but it's not a great Phantom movie.
You know, I've only seen it once, and I definitely want to revisit the Universal cycle. Maybe I'll do it for this year's 31 Days of Halloween. Maybe.
I would watch the Lon Chaney one instead. Well, or both. I mean, that was the original Universal monster movie.
Of course.
Although it's not really, when you see the monsters all together, they use they kind of interchange the two.
I have a hot take for you, actually.
Okay.
I have a hot take for both of you. Keith, let me know if you agree.
Yeah, no, and Keith is the original reason I ever got into Phantom, so he can be part of this conversation.
There you go. So Keith, I'm curious to know what you think too. It is my belief that the original Universal horror film, or the original story, the seed for all of that can be traced back to Beauty and the Beast, the original fairy tale from the 1700s, and it was made so like crystal clear to me when I saw Jean Cocteau. I don't know if I said that right. Jean Cocteau's Le Belle et la Bête in 1947.
I never saw it.
It's going to be your like new favorite movie.
Okay.
Like, you must see this film. You're going to love it so much. And I'm watching it, I'm going, holy shit, like, this is Beauty and the Beast, but this is also like, this is the first. All of them are Beauty and the Beast. Every Universal movie is about Beauty and the Beast. I was like, Beauty and the Beast is the original Beauty and the Beast. It made such perfect sense to me.
But do you think that, because obviously the movies all came from the original novel Phantom of the Opera, do you think when he wrote that he was telling a Beauty and the Beast? It's from the late 1800s.
Yeah.
So Beauty and the Beast predates that. But, and you know what? I honestly, I can't. I know that the book isn't the book even more different than both movies, right?
Yeah.
No
one's done the book.
Nobody's done the book.
No one's done.
That's the amazing thing about Phantom movies is like, it's amazing to watch how much people fuck it up in what interesting ways they fuck it up. And sometimes that makes that version special and good.
Right.
But
unique
and like totally mind-boggling if you're using the source material.
I'm trying to see if it says what the original public date was on
I think
this.
I would say it absolutely.
Well, no, I think it actually came out in 1910, but the story takes place in the 1880s.
Yeah, because it was published in a newspaper.
Yeah, it was a serial.
When was Phantom of the Opera written?
I'm going to say 1911.
Oh, it's not going to speak for me. Okay, it was published. Yeah, Kevin, you're right. It was published in the first American edition of the Phantom of the Opera in 1911 from September 23rd, 1909 through January 8th, 1910. It was a serial. It was a print serial. And so it definitely, the story of Beauty and the Beast predates it. The fairy tale. I think it's is that Hans Christian? Who wrote Beauty and the Beast?
Here are some pictures that match.
I can't pronounce his name, but he's clearly very old. And 1740.
Okay.
So I would say that this template, this idea, this notion of humanity, because aren't all the themes in these movies humanity, or unless it's the Invisible Man, which is lack thereof humanity. It's actually kind of like the Yes, it's the anti Beauty and the Beast story, actually, because it's the opposite theme in a way. It's a man who disappears, and with that, his humanity can leave him and he can truly be a monster, as opposed to all the other Universal horror movies, which are about a monster with more humanity than the humans who are the real monsters.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one. But I don't know. You should read the book. I think Dracula and other books did this too. But the interesting thing about that was Gaston Leroux was most known for being a reporter. And so he wrote the book as if it was a true story.
Right.
And he was investigating it.
I haven't read this in years, but what I remember is that the whole love story piece in the book is a small part. Like, it's not the focus of the book. Whereas that's what the movie and that's what the play and all that focused on.
Yeah, they definitely.
The book is really about his history and about how he became who he is.
Some of it.
Yeah, it's a lot deeper than the love story.
I wonder if that's why people have not done the original story yet, because it's easier to sell a story of unrequited love, monsters, humans.
There's a way. I think there's a way to do it, and I will talk about that ad nauseum as my show goes on, until some Hollywood executive calls me and hires me as a consultant.
That's a good listen. That's the way to do it, because it's like you get to write.
That's all I want to see in my lifetime is a true to book Phantom of the Opera movie.
But I think for you, Kevin, though, I mean, knowing you as well as I do, I think what you love so much about it is the Paris Opera House almost becomes a character.
Yeah, that's what most, if not almost every version is missing, is the Paris Opera House has to be a character.
Except for Phantom of the Paradise, where the Paradise itself is a character as well. And
maybe Brian De Palma did it right.
Well, I would say no.
but you know what? What's interesting, parallel though between Phantom of the Paradise and the original novel is Phantom of the Paradise is less a Phantom of the Opera story and more a Faust story.
Yeah, well, yeah, it blends. It's picture Dorian Gray. It has the setup is Phantom of the Paradise with elements of the Faust story of Faust. Picture of Dorian Gray. There's even a smidgen of Caligari, with the beef, the stage set.
You say Caligari?
Well, how do you say it? Caligari?
I say Caligari, but I guess I don't know what the actual correct pronunciation is.
No, you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. I always do
I just like that. Caligari is like my new thrash metal band.
Did you ever see oh my God, that's a great name for a band, Caligari. Like, it's not even a joke. Like, that is a band name.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be plucked. Have you seen the 1989 version of Caligari?
No, but I've seen the 1989 version of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, Oh,
And
you
I
were
want to
waiting
talk
pull
about
that
this.
one
Have
out.
you seen this?
I have only seen the beginning on Shudder, and I never finished it.
It's on Shudder?
It was on Shudder a
Oh.
long time ago.
Oh,
You know
it's
what's
so
coming
good.
to Shudder is the Guar documentary.
That's right. And I still stand by what I said. I know that feeling of you didn't. It's nothing that you said, but it's something I picked up on. I don't know if it's valid or not, but like just a slight feeling of melancholy of like, I wish I did it. And I know that feeling.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
totally,
I've been
okay.
saying that for years.
Okay. I just want to
But
make sure
I have
not,
seen it and it is good. So,
but it's hard. It's a hard feeling. But here's the thing. This channel, and I love what you're doing. I love that you're like
thank you.
doing this. And
I'm inspired by you.
Thank you. I want to come back on and like do like a full show.
I
Like,
know you
have
can't
to
stay
go.
here all
I can't, but I was like, I've so been in your position and I did not want to leave you hanging. So I was like,
yeah, I
what
figured if
did.
anyone would understand, it would be you.
I totally understand. So just want to drop in and say hello. It's very nice to meet your brother as well. But there is a way for you to do something with Guar because you have Guar footage, right?
No, I've never shot them.
Didn't you have something Guar? No.
I did an interview with Odorous once.
Okay.
It's about 10 minutes of footage.
Hello. That's perfect. And then
I know you do too. I can't wait to see your interview.
You will. You of all people I will absolutely. I'll make sure you see all of it.
Yeah.
I will make sure you see. I promise that to you.
He interviewed Odorous for his Misfits documentary about 10 years ago.
Odorous. I went to Dave Brocky's Slave Pit. He gave me a tour. It was just me and him. And he let me in, and he gave me about 90 minutes of his time, and about 15 of them were dressed up. He stripped down, got dressed up as Odorous just for me. It was just me and him in this place.
He loves that shit.
He was just like the nicest fucking guy I ever fucking met. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a diehard Guar fan or anything. I appreciate Guar, but like, I literally, I was like, Guar's interesting. Everybody loves Guar. Everybody loves Dave. I'd love to hear what he has to say about the Misfits. So he gave me just a couple of sound bites, nothing big. That's great. Is that from the documentary?
No, it's from
the new album.
I saw them last weekend. It's from the new album, which
nice.
I gotta say, I think might be the best Guar album.
Yeah, you said that online. I was like, what?
It may not be my favorite, but it might be the best.
Well, to get back to what I was saying about you and Guar, this is what for this channel, because first of all, you have 10 minutes of Dave, right?
Most of it's been out. It's
so what? It doesn't matter. That does not matter, because here's what you use it for. This vehicle, which, part of the problem with making stuff, and depending on the band, if you're working with a band like the band that I'm trying to make something about, it's like literally, I'm literally doing the most impossible thing in the world that is just doomed to fail. But
it's like, let me make a documentary with not use the name of the band.
But I have you have to admit, so far, I have created a sort of a little bit of a brand that is sort of synonymous with the thing, without saying the thing, and everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
And that was the goal. And that's the goal.
Okay. And now I have to ask, because I'm assuming it's the band where we all think it is. So assuming it's that, being the fact their band name is based on the name of a movie name, how can you not use it? It's not even their name.
You know what it is? It's about using as little as possible. Like I basically put these constraints on myself.
Yeah, no Jerry, no Glenn.
No Jerry, no Glenn, no Doyle, no music, no video, no photos, no band name. And if I can somehow tell the stories and create something, it's not going to be definitive. It's not going to be the be all end all, but it will be interesting. It will be unique, and it will be the only one of its kind. And it's called They Came From Lodi.
And everyone knows who came from Lodi.
Yeah.
And it's the 1950s. They came from Lodi. It's perfect. And there's no Crimson Ghost. I'm using a picture of JFK,
which is also stolen anyways.
Right, of course, but still, that's the thing. That's like the thing. And for about 7 years, I kept it off the internet. I didn't even talk about it on the internet.
I know. I thought the project was dead until you started this channel.
I thought it was dead too. And then when they reunited and I got a call from Mandy, it all changed. But the point being is that, to get back to your Guar thing for a minute.
Yeah.
There is a way for you to do something Guar. I don't know how long you would make it, but or that would be up to you. But like the way you tell this Guar story is you tell it from your perspective as a fan. You talk about your relationship with Guar. What I do on my channel so often is I talk about my relationship with the Misfits. And that's my unique perspective. And that's how I wasn't around when the Misfits were around.
Yeah.
I don't fucking half of the shit that I like talk about. I just sort of like, surmise, or and I always put the disclaimer. I'm not an expert. I'm not sure, but this is what I think, blah, blah, blah. That's how you nail it, dude. You talk about your relationship.
Well, I could totally do something like you do with the Misfits in the minutia of it with Guar. And that's what I'm going to kind of do with the Phantom thing.
But here's the thing. And then you have now set up a channel. So even if let's say the commercial viability of doing something with Guar is probably slim to none for a bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
A bunch of red tape, especially you're doing the Dukey thing. You're already dealing with that. But here's that's the beauty of YouTube, of where we're at today. YouTube is this medium, this gray zone where you can just do stuff and you could put it out, and people right next to their Hulu, right next to their Netflix, right next to their Amazon Prime is a little streaming icon for YouTube where they could watch anything presented to them as a streaming thing, just like their Hulu or their Netflix. You got to do it. You are too big of a Guar fan not to do it, man.
I know. It's I kind of started something over the pandemic. I didn't get too far into it, but I did a lot of archiving for it. Related to exactly what you're talking about with Guar. I basically have the entire archive of the band, everything they've ever done, on a hard drive. And I could, I really wanted to, because there would have been so much red tape with licensing and rights. Like, the only place I could do it is YouTube. And probably demonetized at that. But
is your channel monetized yet?
I don't have enough followers or anything yet. Yeah.
So that's something that you work on and you save. And when you do have enough, and obviously try to do it without the music, because that will just fuck you in all sorts of ways. But when you do have enough of all those things, that's when you take this glorious piece of content. Look what I did with 1979. How many fucking ways have I chopped that thing up? This 1 3-hour video that I chopped up about 1,000 different ways. And now I'm getting ready to put it all on TikTok. I'm doing, this guy, I saw this guy doing some Misfit stuff on TikTok. I'm like, I should do something on TikTok. And Joe Vasta from Mr. Monster, he was like, he's like, call it Frumess Fridays. I was like, yeah, dude.
Hey, I'm going to be doing Phantom Fridays.
Hey, well, we can do it like it will be. It's not in competition.
Yeah, no,
if it was. We would.
I'm not on TikTok or like that.
It would be a whatchamacallit. It would be a double bill. Not a either or. A double bill.
Totally.
So,
I have a lot of ideas, and just not enough time to execute everything.
Of course, man. But keep growing this channel, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
dude, you just got to keep growing this channel. It's fucking great. By the way, what made you go with StreamYard over Melon?
I could not connect my YouTube for some reason on Melon, and I just got too close to the wire. It was the day of, and I was like, I got to try the other one, and then I just
StreamYard's the best, dude. StreamYard's great. It's just that Melon has so many bells and whistles that I can't.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and explore. I do have an account. I paid for it, and then I just couldn't connect. And I was like, I got to do this thing in a couple hours. Like, I don't have time to wait for this.
They have pretty good support. They have a pretty good support.
They got back to me like that just a little too late.
My Twitch just got disconnected over there. I was pretty annoyed about it. But I got to tell you, I think performance-wise, StreamYard is 1,000 times better. But there's just so many features and things that just work for me.
What do you mean
now.
Performance-wise?
Like connectivity, and I can't explain it, but I just don't remember having half of the choppiness and connectivity issues that I have. You've seen me sometimes when I'm trying to do stuff and it's just not working out. Like I
Yeah,
can't. I used to be able to watch videos.
I was watching
dude.
that Tank interview live the other day, and
Oh my
there was some
God.
problems at the end there.
Dude, that was a good show though. Like people have been digging that
Dude,
show.
I was just like, oh, I'll tune in for a little while. 4 hours later, Jesus Christ.
You went through the.
Yeah, I watched the whole fucking thing.
Dude, it's
And it was funny
now-
because usually when I watch you after the fact, I do it at 2 times the speed, so it just like
right. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. You know, it's funny.
So you sound so slow.
Right now, just talking like this.
Basically.
Keith, I'm kind of curious. So tell me, I see that you have a lot of guitars behind you, and I think I knew maybe a little through Kevin that you do music. What are you up to musically? What's your deal?
I'm working on a couple things. I have a pop rock project. I'm still working on getting a singer for, but we have probably an album and a half worth of it's like an 80s rock sound, but like a modern 80s rock sound. And then I'm also doing a side project with my brother, actually. We were talking about at the beginning of this. It's called Dedicate, which is it was a concept a friend of mine from high school and I came up with. He's a singer guitar player. I produce, play guitar, drums, bass, whatever. Kevin's going to play bass on it. And the whole premise is every band steals from other artists. They just don't acknowledge it.
Of course.
So we said, well, why don't we just put it right on Front Street? Why don't we try to sound like an artist and totally cop to it and go full bore? But we're going to do it song by song. So every song will sound like a different artist or be a different concept. Like, for example, one song we're working on right now is in the style of Anthrax. So it sounds like Anthrax.
Right.
And the song is called Anthrax, and it's about the actual virus anthrax, which is totally meta.
Yeah, that's great, though.
But pretty cool.
And of course, it's funny hearing the concept. I had recorded some of these songs before I understood the concept, so I did not emulate the bass players of those bands because I didn't know that I should.
Well, you'll know because coming up, we're working on some other ones that you'll get, and I'll tell you who they are. Like you heard an early demo of something we're doing like Nirvana.
Yeah.
Which it's not done yet. It's still being written. It's not
man,
that's easy.
It's
for me.
too bad that's not about that. It's not written about Nirvana. Not
well,
the band.
That's the concept.
Like the concept. Oh, you're right.
No.
Oh, it is.
But yeah. So it'll be the concept of Nirvana in the style of Nirvana.
Yes. You got to do Sublime too. You got to do.
That'd be an interesting one.
Can you? Yeah. Well, I don't know. That guy's a really good bass player.
You know. Oh my God, Eric Wilson is
that's the drummer, right? Bud's the drummer.
Player.
Okay,
Bud's the drummer. Eric Wilson's the bass player. Eric Wilson might be one of the most underrated bass players. Like people do not realize. And you know what's funny about
he's
music?
great.
You guys are both musicians. Ska is the bass is leading. Ska, guitar is generally just
on another
rhythm.
level.
What is it? Not rhythm. Yeah, like the upbeat rhythm, right?
Yeah.
And his bass playing is just like
crazy,
just unreal.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I could play at that level.
And
they do it wasted. and
they do it wasted
up.
too. But it would still be funny, a song about Sublime that's about the concept of Sublime.
But not all of them are that meta. Like one of the tracks we're working on is in the style of Marilyn Manson, but it's about Jack the Ripper, which is kind of cool.
So it's subverting. It's subverting expectations.
But it actually has references to like Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson in the song, since those are the concepts of Marilyn Manson. So I don't
know if we want to talk about Marilyn Manson these days.
Well, no, it's not. He's not in the song. Charles Manson is technically.
Yeah. Right. I actually have a question. I'm going to leave you both with like this because I really have to get back to work now.
And Keith is on my new album. So
he is.
He records on my stuff too.
So I mean, that's awesome. And you guys are like, the brotherly love is awesome. I wish I had that with my brother. I don't. It's we have a very interesting relationship. But I want to leave you guys with one last question before I go. And thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. And Keith,
we're almost an hour already. We did it.
Yes, you did it. We did it.
Now everything after this is extra.
It's all downhill from here. All I need to do is just talk. Never shut up.
I didn't even use any of my props.
Death Ska. I think you're a little disappointed. You wanted to use some of the props. Little bit.
Well, it's not over yet.
It's not over.
We'll
yet.
find a way.
Instead of Uncle Floyd, it could be Uncle Kevin's. Uncle Kevin with his
Look,
props.
I just have all these recent acquisitions. This one, my friend actually painted this Phantom of the Opera painting.
That's pretty.
It's really great.
Yeah, I see it with the staircase.
Figure this is one thing you could see before. I'm getting a lot of glare, but
no, I see it. And I love that the in the background you could see the tragedy mask and the comedy mask.
It's really great.
That's cool. Let me ask you guys this.
Death ska.
Death ska. Does death ska sound like, is death ska happy music with like guttural vocals or like macabre lyrics, or is it happy lyrics with like super deep sludgy riffs but still in the style of like that uptick ska with like major distortion or something?
I'm just thinking of it as like really, really fast Operation Ivy.
Yeah. If I was going to conceptualize it, I'm thinking blast beats with an upbeat heavy guitar, right?
Yeah, I mean, just
or what about death ska, but it's like death rock, like Christian Death or like post-punk.
Jeff, did you see this?
Oh my God!
Is that the one where
it's
you
so
got
beautiful?
It's great.
Oh my God! You
but
got
if
it.
I've been listening to your podcast enough,
got it.
You can't listen to it, can you? Is it one of the albums?
What do you mean?
Son of a gun! It's
Yes.
beautiful.
By Edward Culver, who is in my documentary.
Yes. Who I still need to freaking
Yeah. When are you gonna do that show?
That's gonna happen.
I hooked you up. You better follow through.
Oh, you better believe I will be following through. My life has been crazy.
Yeah, that's all good.
Wasn't it your show that Kevin surprised you with Edward Culver on the phone?
Yeah.
He sure did.
He just picked up the phone and was like, "I know his number."
Yeah.
I was shocked because like Edward Culver, I mean, he's a friggin' legend.
You just like text me at random sometimes. It's great.
Dude, that set, I was gonna get that set and I just could not afford it. I bought the record.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Disc.
Yeah.
I bought the single disc. They sent me a red vinyl of it, and it sounds, by the way, I don't know if they remixed it, but it sounds.
They remastered it for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God, it sounds fucking excellent, dude. I listened to it like 3 times in a row right as soon as I got it.
And I may interview Rick Agnew for the documentary. I talked to him recently too.
Good. I hope it happens. I know you were like that was the logistics.
I won't talk about your movie.
Yeah. But dude, that is awesome. That's friggin' awesome, dude. I'm stoked.
So now I want a ska Christian Death tribute album.
Dude, that is literally what I want. That is like, imagine like
how do you make these songs happy? Well, you know, Romeo's Distress is pretty.
Yeah,
you just change the key a little bit, and that is kind of a happy song.
That's the easiest one to turn into ska.
I wouldn't want to sing those lyrics though.
No,
that's my one problem with it.
Yeah, I say neighbor. I actually changed the lyrics when I say it because I just do not feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had fine intent with it, but you just can't do that these days.
If you actually look at the meaning behind what he's saying, he's speaking from a perspective.
Right,
I mean, listen,
that's what I mean.
Uncle Glenn is guilty of similar sort of
rhetoric. Stage rhetoric, but not in the lyrics necessarily.
Well, Lord to the Left Hand and Let the Day Begin, and you know, I mean, it's there, but like
I equate it more to Holiday in Cambodia.
It's like writing
because it's exactly the same kind of thing. And it's the same word.
You're writing from a perspective, or you're writing cynically and sardonically about something. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like leaving singing, "Let's have a war. We could all use the money." He's not like serious. And
well, Lee has used some choice words on that album too.
Yes, he has. So. But I think, you know, and also the fact that like Roz Williams is like, you know, he's like a gay guy who
was he gay?
Deals with this Christian from his
Wasn't he married to Eva O?
Oh yes, he was. They were married, but he was he was he or if he was not gay, he was some sort of queer.
Yeah, I mean, I know he
bisexual
dresses,
something.
in dresses and stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah.
No, he was definitely okay. He was queer for sure. He was quear. If the term queer would apply, I think to Roz Williams. But that's my point. Is that like he came from like an oppressive religious home, and what he was writing, at least from what I've read online, because that's never sat well with me. That lyric is in the song.
I never really thought about it until I bought this reissue and I was listening to it. I was like, oh,
but
I love this song. Shit.
But it's not. Yeah, I know. Me too. It's like I've named a movie.
After it. Yeah.
Like I fucking love that song to death. But like it's
they played in the goth clubs.
Yes, and so I think that like if you were to ask anybody who plays that song, people, the context is understood. But online, people all the time are like, oh, that song's so fucked up, the lyrics, because people take the lyrics at face value. It's a lot. Let me tell you something. It's a lot harder for me to accept the lyrics to Lords of the Left Hand, knowing what it's about, and like trying to reconcile the fact that Glenn is singing from a point of view and that those are not his beliefs. Because I mean, it's pretty problematic for me. Like I don't, especially being like a Jew, like it's pretty problematic. However, I really don't think that that's where he's coming from. I think he is singing from, he's a well-read guy who is writing from a perspective.
He likes comic books and,
and nobody seems to ever acknowledge that stuff. And you know what? It's, as Glenn has always said, if you knew what was going on in my head, you'd have me arrested. better like keep it in your head, bro. We don't need to
man.
know.
I've seen Verotic.
Yeah, I've seen.
Keep it in your head, man.
Sing your fucking Astro Zombies, okay? Sing your hybrid moments, okay?
I'm still looking forward to watching his cowboy movie, though. When is that coming out?
I don't know.
I
saw it. I saw it the night it opened. It was playing at New Rock City.
Was he there?
Michelle? No, it was just I went at midnight with my friend, and it was interesting to say the least. It was interesting.
Yeah, if you go to the what's near you, the Alamo Draft House.
I have the Alamo Draft House in Yonkers, which is across the bridge from you guys.
It's not Keith's in Florida.
I'm in Tampa.
Florida, right? If you were,
if anything cool is happening there, like let me know.
I will always let you know. I'm always there. You know what the thing is? A lot of the time, I just go on a whim. But if there's something cool coming up in the future, I'll let you know, man. They do stuff like you know what the problem is? They're not marketing shit properly. Like they just had a screening of The Room with Greg in.
I've never seen The Room.
Oh, dude,
I know.
It played yesterday with Greg. What's his face in person? The fucking guy, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. He was there in person.
That's a bizarre watch.
That is a bizarre.
I want to do it right, and I know doing it right is seeing it live.
Yes, and Kevin, you will be obsessed with this movie once you see it. I promise you. I think you will.
And because of that, I didn't watch the movie about the movie either.
So next time it is playing locally, I will let you know. I didn't even know about it. It was like sold out by the time it was. There was like not a lot of tickets and any good seats left by the time.
You went to that the drive-in recently, right? The Mahoning.
Yeah, I went to the Mahoning drive-in.
How far away is that?
I was that is that's about 2.5 hours, 2 hours. I was asked to conduct the Q&As.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it yet, but
that's on. Yes, that's on the thing. And it'll be on soon.
Mad Max.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Describing.
I haven't watched the originals in a long time, though. Am I gonna not get a lot of it?
You know what? They were just very general Q&As. Okay. So I got. Let's just say this. I asked him a question that I never thought I would.
Yeah, I heard you say that, and I'm very curious about.
You'll see. You'll see.
I'll watch it.
It was not my question either. Some people were like writing things in. But yeah, that's great fun. And Tank is the guy, Tank and Faye, that they put it on. So they asked me. That's why I was literally just with Tank, and we were like, when are we going to do the second episode of that show? So
yeah, I was wondering about that place. They do some good stuff. They do some trauma stuff.
Dude,
I almost went there.
Was there. Brian Usna was there with Reanimator, Return of the Living Dead Part 3 and Society the weekend after. And I was like, I can't get back.
You know, Johnny Psycho, who's in my documentary, worked on Society.
The only place that does 35 millimeter. Drive-in.
Yeah, yeah. I almost went last year because they were showing Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, and Linnea Quigley and Fred and Ray were going to be there, and I need them both. I got one of them.
Didn't you interview her already?
No, I don't.
No,
I didn't
Fred.
get her.
Yeah, you got Fred.
I got Fred though.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now I've been actually doing interviews through StreamYard for people I haven't been able to get.
Dude, it saves a lot of money, man.
Yeah. So maybe I'll try to convince her to do that because.
Okay, here's why you need Melon. Then, all right, I'm going to tell you. Here,
Okay.
last thing, and I'm really going to go. I'll leave you gentlemen to be. Melon will allow you to separate each video stream.
Ooh.
So I can download.
Yeah, because I've been mostly just being like asking a question and then
like right. You can avoid that problem. It will give you a download of each individual video and the audio wave file separately.
Okay.
So you got everything you could possibly want. I mean, it's good. It's good.
That's how you edited your leaving.
I actually had to I used Zoom for that because Lee is not very technologically inclined.
Dude, dealing with these old punk rockers, you know.
Yeah, some
of these guys in Haunted Garage are in their 70s.
I was annoyed because I really wanted to be in full HD instead of 720, but I was like, dude, it's either this or you're not going to get the interview. Like Lee is not going to deal with Melon.
Yeah, it's
Do
YouTube.
not force him. Yeah, just don't even force him to deal with that. Just make it as simple as possible. So I was like, I'm just gonna let him. And he, dude, there was a whole thing. I cut it out, but there was literally about 5 minutes where he's playing with the screen.
Oh God!
And I have it all recorded, and it's just it's so surreal because I'm like, am I really waiting for leaving to figure out how his cell phone can be stabilized on his kitchen table? It was just one of those surreal moments. I mean, I'm like, this guy's a fucking legend. And he's propping up his phone with it was just so funny.
That fucking Saturday Night Live. Oh my God.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
Who I'm trying to get on this? I'll reveal one thing, although nothing's confirmed and he hasn't written me back yet, but I'm trying to get Tesco V on this show.
I wish you the
best. And he was at that Saturday Night Live.
Oh man. That will be, first of all, that will be a great get. And I wish
he was on my old web TV show, so I met him.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, it was.
He's
I had bad audio, and
Did you keep a recording of it?
Oh, of course, it's out there. But...
Did you put it on? So I mean, all your shit. You have such a big archive.
I know. That's why.
Why is it not all on your YouTube channel?
Well, you have a bunch of stuff on your.
You have
a private one, right?
Yeah, it was a Twilight Vision episode, the same that I had the Guar interview.
But
it's edited,
but consolidated all under the channel that you're trying to drive traffic to.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's why it's a pain in the ass.
I'm going to start playing things through these shows too.
Yes. And I'll tell you,
it's all about the watch hours, man. I'm learning
all about the watch hours. You know.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going.
All right, man. Thank you for coming. We'll do our own episode of this event.
We're going to do a whole fucking thing.
Maybe we'll do
let me know.
Maybe we'll do an hour or two on mine and then an hour and two on yours.
You want to do the crossover, the epic,
we'll see.
The epic crossover? Here's what we're going to do.
I think we could pull it off.
We could easily pull it off. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to think of some topics and we'll figure out some things that we could really gab about for a while.
Phantom, Guar, whatever you want, man. I could talk for hours about these things.
We'll figure out some stuff and then we will plan this and we will make it really, really good. I am busy through
no rush.
I'm dying right now and I can't tell you why. Actually, you're going to find out very soon. Actually, I could tell you off air.
Right.
I just don't want to say it publicly until it's completely done.
This is your secret project that you've been talking about?
Yeah. Actually, yes. Okay. So you already know.
But I don't know what it is though.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'll Facebook message it to you later. The reason why I haven't said it publicly is because until I know that it's done or that it's materialized, I just don't want to fucking jinx myself.
Yeah. And you need a big reveal.
I want to do a big surprise.
You got to be dramatic for your own show. I get it.
I have quite the surprise reveal if I could pull everything off. So, all right, I'm going to go. We'll talk. Great. Hey.
All right, man.
Nice to meet you, Keith.
Pleasure.
Okay, did I freeze?
But you're back.
Okay. All right. Peace
and hair grease. He always cuts off in the middle of his words.
Tell you, if I knew I was going to be subbing in for Maximum Bob, I would have done up the mohawk. But it's all
you did
subtle.
pretty good.
It's all subtle right now.
I have all my Maximum Bob props out. I had all my Deli Creeps shirts out. Yeah, no hard feelings. It's all good. But next time we'll hype it up even more. So
I actually did without your telling you. I actually put it on a couple Buckethead boards.
I put them on all the Facebook groups and everything.
Oh, did you? Okay,
I
so
had
you
like
wrote
a bunch of people tuned in at the beginning, and they've trickled out by now. But
like Buckethead's not going to be here. Well, who knows? Maybe I'm Buckethead. Maybe, right?
I mean,
it could be.
You've claimed to have met him.
Oh, that's not a claim. That's a true story.
I do have the autograph to show.
Yeah, that was weird because you and I were talking about that the other night. That it's funny because it's the mystery show that when you go find it online, there's no record of it. It's like like it didn't happen.
Did you see that magazine article that I sent you?
I did, but I'm wondering because that was the same date of the '97 show. So I'm wondering if that was the '97 show that.
No, but that article came out in '96.
Oh, did it?
So that's why I was.
Are you sure it wasn't promoting it in '97?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a physical copy of it. I don't think, but.
And again,
it makes sense that it's a Buckethead and Friends show because I think I remember you saying that, and it's not the Praxis show because you would have remembered that, and Brain wasn't playing on that. No. It's not the GR2 show, although I believe you were also there.
I did see, and I think I may have combined those two shows in my head. Mm-hmm. So maybe the Sean Lane opening was the G2 show. Maybe that wasn't the Buckethead and Friends.
I think so because there's video of that show. I've had an audio recording of that since the 90s.
Yeah.
And Sean Lane comes out and does the whole Texas Chainsaw monologue thing.
Yeah. So I may have combined those, but I definitely saw the Buckethead and Friends with Bernie and with Brain. And the only reason I know that is true is because I hung out with Brain after the show.
Right. And Bernie was late. So,
you want to tell that story? well, in my full defense, I
told the story on the other podcast.
Yeah, I saw you do it. So, full disclosure, this is back when I was in high school.
No, you were in college.
No, college. You're right. It was college, and my college buddies knew Praxis. I didn't know who any of these guys were. That was my first introduction to Buckethead. Was when my friends listening to. And they were listening to Transmutation and Sacrifice like nonstop. Anytime I was in their dorm room, one of those two albums was playing for the most part. And when they saw that he was playing downtown Manhattan, we decided to go out and play and go see them. And it started off being, I don't even remember who was playing bass, but I know Brain was playing drums, Bucket was playing guitar.
I think I remember you saying that Buckethead played a lot of bass that night because there was no bass player.
Well, he did do like his, which you've seen in a bunch of the show videos, where he does like that whole bass through the filter with the slap bass.
I've seen him do it live. I've seen him probably 10 times.
Yeah. But most of it, and I remember it was him playing guitar because he had that purple ESP and it sounded amazing.
There we go. I got the names up. It took me long enough. Sorry.
But the show, we were probably 45 minutes to an hour into the show before Bernie Worrell showed up. And I didn't know who Bernie Worrell was. I couldn't have picked him out of a lineup. I really didn't know at the time, like P-Funk or any of that material. I do now, obviously. And all I know is we got there early and we were like front row. And I just feel this guy trying to shove and get in front. And I wasn't playing. I'm like, no. I'm here. I'm getting the view. This is my space, and he just pushes and pushes, and I bring my arm back, and I'm like, I'm going to hit this guy because, again, this is my spot. I'm watching from here, and my friend suddenly grabs my wrist. He sat next to me. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, this guy's trying to push ahead, and I'm not playing." He goes, "Dude, that's Bernie Worrell." I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Dude, that's Bernie Worrell," and he kind of pulls me aside, and Bernie just kind of scoots past. Next thing I know, he's jumping on stage. And he gets behind a keyboard and starts playing. And obviously the rest of the show was like a jam session with Bucket and Brain and Bernie, and it was awesome. But I didn't know he was.
I can't believe there's no record. It's not on any of his like tour dates, like websites, like that collect all this information. It's nuts.
To bring that full circle, a couple of years ago, through work, I run a team for a large company. I don't want to say who, but I run a team for a large company. And we were in Ohio for some meetings and we had some downtime. So I said, hey, let's go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame walking through. And what's one of the displays I have up is a P-Funk display with Bernie Worrell represented in like one of his outfits and one of his keyboards and everything, which was kind of cool. And I'm like,
The
oh my
Wizard
God.
of Woo.
Exactly. So here's a guy in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that I almost got in a fight with. And it's funny because he probably would have beaten me to a pulp, to be honest. I probably wouldn't have won that fight. He probably would have beaten me.
He's probably had some crazy adventures in his life.
He probably has.
And hanging out with George Clinton and Bootsy Collins all those years. And you ever hear that Bootsy Collins James Brown acid story?
I've heard several stories that I don't know. I've heard a bunch of him and James Brown.
It's a great one. I think it was part of that. He told it on that. I forget what the show was called, but I think it was animated by Mike Judge, maybe, where they would take these rock and roll stories and animate them.
Mhm.
But like they kind of by accident dosed James Brown, and they thought he was going to be really mad, but he was really cool. He had a good time.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
but
was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know.
So when are we going to see? I know you got your Phantom cast. Are we ever coming back to Andrew WK? Because that's a
I have that up
fascinating
here
story too.
This is my Andrew WK doll. Yeah, I just need to pick another day of the week to do it. Basically, like this is kind of the format that I've always needed for it, though. Like I was editing that before I discovered this streaming stuff. So,
but you kind of got to do the edits for the video reviews, though, right? What you were doing.
Well,
the frame by frame deals.
We'll see. But good to bring it up. You know, here, let me do a little advertisement for myself. Stay tuned. Eventually this show will return. Here's my ad for the Andrew WK show. A real fucking horror movie, the Andrew WK.
With original music by you.
Yes, and it's so funny because, I mean, the way I named that show, it was just because I had a hard drive full of Andrew WK files. I was like, you know what? There's a good pun in there.
Yeah, he's fascinating. He's quite the. And it's funny because I've heard. I've been watching all of your interviews, obviously, for your indie gore campaign. Focus on the pain. I've watched
Emphasis.
all, but all the Andy Kaufman bits that you talk about, and it's funny because Andrew WK is almost like a musical version of Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, and yeah, who knows? Maybe Andrew WK's last interview will be with Dukey Flyswatter as well.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Is that apparently, from what I understand, that was the last public appearance Andy Kaufman ever made, and there's Dukey, of course.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, man. Here's my Phantom intro. There's no music. Found a Phantom. I mean, it's the same intro as the other show I had years ago, and I hand drew all of those.
Yeah, and you should do an episode at some point going through all the music videos you've done. I mean, you've done a significant number of those.
That's kind of the point. Like when I have guests on that are relevant, I will, like Jeff said, like, you know, make me a part of the story and display, you know, maybe work that I've done with them that has been overlooked or forgotten about over the years. You know, that's what I'm planning. I haven't booked anything yet because I want to finish the album first or get closer to it. But I think the next phase of the show is going to be Welcome to My Pity Pod. It'll just be people who were involved with the record as guests, not necessarily talking about the album so much, but just all their other shit, you know.
Yeah, got quite a cast on that.
You, Amani, Brian, you know, I could get Slim from Green Jelly on here. Who else is on the record?
Abby Deathback.
Abby Death, Pat Kagongo has added. He's a character in the story now. That's what the album was really missing, and that's what I've been waiting for, and I have most of it now. But he is the guide character through the story. He's the narrator.
Well, I was going to ask, which maybe is a good setup for one of your other ads. You do an ad for your video production that I've seen, and there's a narrator on it. It's not you.
Oh,
and I was curious, who is the narrator?
Let's watch it.
VonEsper Studios is a multimedia production company in the New York City area specializing in capturing your moments in the forms of audio, video, and photography content. VonEsper Studios Music is the audio production and songwriting division that can create the perfect song for your needs. This is an example of just that. Need a jingle to make you tingle? VonEsper Studios Music is ready to write the hits you need for your project. If you are a singer, performer, business owner, or podcast host, you need great tunes to entice your audience. Or maybe you just need a theme song for yourself. VonEsper Studios is ready to create something to suit your needs. VonEsper Studios is ready to score your car commercial.
Okay, I know.
Damn,
Pat,
I've been in a lot of bands.
So who did the narration?
That is Val's twin brother, Vin.
Interesting.
Yeah. And speaking of not him, but someone I saw in one of those clips, I have an announcement, a new booking as of today for what's next month, July 7/7. We're gonna have Carrot Top from the Radioactive Chicken Heads, and next week we have horror industrial metal New York band Cut Like This. I've known some of these members for like probably over 10 years. And then the next week, well, then that's Friday, that's Thursday, the Phantom Show will be Friday. And then Thursday, June 30th, the Destruct Principal, who do they look scary or what?
Yeah, musically, what are they? How would you describe?
They're kind of like an industrial tinged Cradle of Filth.
Interesting.
Let's see if I can pull up something. Because why not? This is a what the fuck show. But here, I should throw you a question while I'm looking for this. I don't know. Oh, here's what I could ask you. And the reason I brought this up before,
I love this,
is because I have a new Blu-ray for my collection. I've seen this only once and it was in terrible, terrible quality, but I don't know if you know anything about this movie, Dance Macabre, starring Robert Englund.
Is that what was going to be the sequel to the Phantom? Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, that's strange.
Now on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's a very strange movie, and
I don't remember it being like that one super good, but it had to be part of my collection. It was the only reason I never owned it is because it wasn't available.
Yeah, it definitely deviated from where they should have gone from from the Phantom movie, obviously, because that's more about ballet, if I remember. Is that like a ballet movie?
Yeah, he's like a ballet teacher, but he's like in drag, so
Right.
it's kind of this. I don't know. I forget, but there's murder. It's instead of the opera house, it's in a ballet school.
Right. But his
It's
Phantom,
a weird one.
But his Phantom is probably my favorite version. And again, like you've said many times, there's no perfect one. They're all imperfect. None of them are even great. Let's be honest.
No, that's part of my fascination with it.
But I love how they go from the modern to the past, and and what I really love it again, which comes into the fascination.
You know where the first scene of this movie takes place?
Isn't it? It's a library in. Is it the Columbia Library?
Well, I'm okay. Let me rephrase that. The first scene does not take place in this location, but it's the first thing you see in the movie, setting up an establishing shot of New York City.
I don't know.
Tower Records.
Oh, is it?
Tower Records opens this movie. Tower Records in Manhattan, in a location that I've probably been to before it closed at some point in my life, and not knowing it was the same one. But it's like, what other Phantom movie starts in New York City at Tower Records, like an actual Tower Records?
But what I love about that movie is that they almost, well, first of all, a reason you probably shouldn't like it is it doesn't take place in Paris. It takes place in London, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a reason for that. And it's
because he basically plays Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
Well, isn't that because they were reusing sets from something that
wasn't exactly
filmed?
Because this was a canon film, and there's a whole documentary about canon films, but they're notorious for being real cheap and reusing sets, and they're the ones who made the Masters of the Universe movie, and then when they didn't make the sequel, they reused it for Cyborg, and also I think maybe Captain America or something like that.
Oh, like the old one, like the Red Skull. Early 1980s movies.
Exactly, and because they were supposed to make a Spider-Man too, but it never got off the ground.
But I love the fact they made him Jack the Ripper. I mean, I thought that was
interesting.
Ingenious.
I feel like if they cut that whole plot line out, it added more of the book stuff in, it would have been more perfect. But location, it's fine as long as it works for the story.
And now Robert Englund is playing another Freddy type character in the new Stranger Things series.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah, and what I thought was more funny about that is, and I think the next episode they reference Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
So they're watching a Robert Englund movie in a universe where he's also playing a
different character.
Yeah.
Which is, it's great. But the other thing I find fascinating is, and I don't know if it's through all the seasons of Stranger Things, but definitely in season 1 and definitely in the newest season, is its ties to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And the principal character, without spoilers, I guess, spoilers for anybody watching.
Come on.
I'm not going to go too far, but the bad guy, I guess, in the new season is a D&D character. There's actually a video of Joe Manganiello is a huge Dungeons and Dragons player. Like, he actually plays Dungeons and Dragons for real. The actor Joe Manganiello.
Oh, okay. He's in Stranger Things.
No, he's not in Stranger Things.
Oh,
who
is he in?
Oh, he was in the Marvel movies. He's Deadshot. He's
okay.
He's married to who's the girl from? Oh God, I'm tired now. Modern Family. The Cuban girl from Modern Family.
I don't remember her name right now.
He's married to her. But he's a huge Hollywood A-list actor. But he actually travels the world to actually play Dungeons and Dragons, like old school with dice and the whole nine. And he actually talks about this character that's in Stranger Things, but actually from the Dungeons and Dragons lore, which I think is fascinating.
The character from the first season,
I think it was.
Is that a real character too?
I believe it is.
Because it seemed, they made it seem like it is. I didn't ever check the canon of D&D. Gua wrote a song about a D&D character once called "The Horror of Yig."
I vaguely know that. That's
And
not one of
that's
the albums I was
actually,
on.
yeah, it's on Scumdogs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually the first Gwar song that I knowingly heard because it's the song in Mystery Date.
Okay.
But that's actually just a character from D&D. You know, and going back to bands like the Destruct Principle,
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of learned, and this is what I love about shock rock and performance art, is the scarier the band is looking, probably the bigger dorks that they actually are in real life, because they're the ones who care about looking that way so much. You know, like Gwar. You know, I know for a fact that Gwar plays tabletop games in the bus, like when they're on tour, and that's like when we interviewed Hunter Jackson for the documentary. He actually comes over to this guy's house where we were filming and where I was staying, the guitar player for Haunted Garage, Andy's place. I was there for like 2 weeks and we set up a studio there. That's where we did most of the interviews. Hunter actually comes over like weekly there to play tabletop games with him. Andy's not even like, he had never even seen Gwar until the last tour when Hunter joined back in. He's not that big of a fan. He's aware of them and he's in Haunted Garage, but like, yeah, that's like, he actually brought a game for us to play that we just didn't have time to play. I was about to play a tabletop game with Hunter Jackson.
That would have been cool.
And I know, like, on tour, the last tour, I think something that reconnected him with his former bandmates is that love for stupid shit like that. And he was happy on his day off on Thanksgiving playing whatever Warcraft game, you know, with little miniature figures and everything.
That's great.
I have the Destruct Principle up. I'm going to get this is something I actually shot of them. And it was the first time I had seen the singer Adam sing, because he is a guest on an Abby Death song. So you've probably heard him do that. But I went in blind to this band and I walked in because I was filming this convention that they were playing. And the first time I ever saw them is when I turned on my camera and played this and saw this. So this is my first impression of the Destruct Principle. And
do what you way, the sun shall burn. What you know? It took 7 days to consume the whore mother's and things to assume. Daylight falls, the big falls. What you know? What the freedom of the bodies?
well, that's a little teaser.
Okay, so it's like industrial metal kind of.
Yeah, it's
vibe.
a whole spooky vibe, and there's fire and subliminals, and they put on a whole show, and we're gonna find out. They actually asked to do it, the show. So I do have their album, and I've heard it a bunch of times. It was on loop in my car for a while, but you know, I'm going into this one a little bit blind, so we're gonna find out what it's all about, and I think it's all about kittens. That's my theory.
Kittens.
That's my theory. We'll find out.
Very well could be.
Oh, you know, I think we'll probably wind this down. We've been going for about an hour and a half, but since we were talking about it, you probably saw this, but I put together a little promo for the album coming out. So
Yeah, I did. This is good. I like this.
Let's play it.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Comment below! Comment below! Comment below!
Pat Kingongo from Society Can't Accept Me.
Yes, who I would also like to make a reunion. You know, that might be one of the first things I do next month is do a demo for Scam, because what is it? This year, I believe, is the 20th anniversary of the Layman's Tools album that we made when we were in high school.
But to do that, if you're going to do it right, wouldn't you need Ed? Would Ed do it?
Yes, you're correct, but at least I can start the process.
That's true.
Ed may be a little preoccupied at the moment.
Yeah, he's
I'm
a busy
sure
guy.
I'm sure you heard.
I don't know if I did, but you can tell me offline probably. Probably don't want to make it public.
Perhaps. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you offline. I thought you knew.
Yeah, I don't.
If you don't know, if you're questioning it, you don't know.
I don't
You have
know.
no idea.
Yeah, and then offline too. I want to catch up with you too because I might need your help. I have a couple of video ideas I want to do for the new project, and I'm going to need your help to do it. So I'll talk to you.
Well, how
could
about
be
this?
some future material.
Can you hang out for a couple minutes?
I can.
So let me run a few ads, and then I'll end the show, and then just stay in the room, and we could chat a little afterwards.
Cool.
All right. So I'm gonna throw in some trailers because it's a fuck it night. Sorry guys, no Maximum Bob. If you are, you already know he couldn't show up tonight, last minute, but he will be back, and it will be much hyped, and he's promised me some big news. So, coming soon, probably.
To tell him to make it up for you, he's got to find a way to get a Buckethead cameo. How about that? That would make it up in spades.
Well, I don't know what the big news is, but if it's not related to Buckethead, I don't think he's talked to the guy in years. So that's a tall order. But you know what? I'll take anything because I've been a fan of Maximum Bob's for almost 30 years. So whatever he does, I will support it.
Awesome.
So let me run some ads, and thank you all for being here. Next week, remember, we got live. It's a live show. Cut Like This. And then on Friday, Found a Phantom. We're going to talk about this new graphic novel that I'm very excited about, that I've been following for a long time. And pay the bills and hire me.
What influence did B movies have on the band?
How many tapes do you have? How many loads have you got?
It started out as a band that was covering bad songs from bad movies.
They should be looked at as a legacy of Los Angeles.
They live the movie lifestyle.
I had seen many of Dukey's movies long before I knew who he was.
I first saw Dukey Fly Swatter in a Green Jello video.
Because as soon as I saw him up on the stage, I go, oh fuck, that's that guy from Surf Nazis.
Roger Ebert said it's the worst movie he's ever seen.
They were such a part of our scene.
A cult movie that's got its own fans. We've attracted our own fans and our own family.
Within a city of misfits like Hollywood, we were misfits.
He's an icon of the underground exploitational genre.
Punk rock god of Hollywood.
It was neat to see the same faces always orbiting this universe that Dukey Fly Swatter seemed to be in the center of.
There was celebrities, weird people, cool people, interesting people.
Axel and Sass came to see us, and I slimed them really good.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Tom Waits was there.
I remember Fishbone showing up at a couple of gigs.
Courtney Love was afraid of us.
When you're sitting between Dukey and Elvira, it doesn't get any cooler than that.
Spike Lee wasn't impressed.
Just about to go on stage and Flea grabs my shoulder.
White Zombie and Haunted Garage and Tool were all in the same bill.
I think Soundgarden was opening for you. I would not be surprised.
I did a nude painting.
Clive Barker owns that painting.
Los Angeles seems to be a haven for insularly popular artist situation. You can destroy here, and nobody knows where you are anywhere else. No. It's crazy.
We'd like to be an A movie someday.
A B-A movie. An A-B movie.
A B-A movie? A B-A.